Third stimulus check and third stimulus package. It's Biden's stimulus, it's January's stimulus, it's all the great items you've always wondered about, and you're wondering where they're going to come and when they're going to happen and what they are. They're SSI and SSDI, the $2,400. The MSC, the multiple stimulus checks, the hazard pay, the FPUC retro, $600 a week. Oh baby, it's all that great stuff and more. In this recording, I'm going to go over third stimulus check and third stimulus package, when it's going to happen, what will be the deal provisions, what will be the routing times, and what will happen and what you should expect. Meantime, I'll be going over what his comments were in the last few days on third stimulus check and third stimulus package. And with that, join me for a big afternoon's recording of Third Stimulus. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is third stimulus check and third stimulus package, which goes over Biden's stimulus. That's a January stimulus. It's just around the corner. The provisions for third stimulus will likely be written in the next few days and then prepared and ready to go on inauguration day. But is there an executive order coming as well? Yes, there is. So please subscribe, because no one's making things clear for you by separating out the three types of stimulus. There's second stimulus, that Congress is working on right now. There's Biden stimulus, which I'm going over in this video. And then there's state stimulus, that's rent and utilities. Also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over Biden's comments yesterday, his comments on Friday, and what you should expect in the third stimulus check and third stimulus package. Then, I'll also be going over the executive order anticipated for day one. Really exciting. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that many eyes are wondering if that executive order will happen. I'm reporting that it's going to happen. Chuck Schumer has urged the president-elect to do executive orders on day one. And what will be the executive orders? The reports claim there will be 3 executive orders on day one of the Biden administration. 1, eviction moratorium. An eviction moratorium that is different than the current one. I don't like the current one. It's a CDC eviction moratorium. And it requires you to print out forms and give it to people and use a particular form. You can't use it in someone else's form. The federal eviction moratorium under Biden perhaps would just be broad stroke. You wouldn't have to print out forms. Second, mortgage forbearance. Thank goodness. There is no mortgage forbearance in the second stimulus package. There has to be. So in essence, you're exposed for potential mortgage foreclosure between the end of December and when Biden's stimulus kicks in, third stimulus. Finally, the big one that everyone's looking at, that's student loan debt forgiveness, not repayment or moratorium, forgiveness. Chuck Schumer is urging the president to do it by executive order and believes the president can do it by executive order. Of those 3 things, Trump has done eviction moratorium before, has done mortgage forbearance before, but has not done something for student loan debt forgiveness. He's done it for student loan debt moratorium. Forgiveness? That's next level. So what about the other items in the under the third stimulus check and third stimulus package? Well, the first one that you're all wondering about is SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, the 3 items that I talk about. First, $2,400. Second, the 20% increase approximately. And third, the new benchmark. When, where, how, and by what means. Let me go over all the details. First, when. The Biden bill would likely get passed in late January. So by then, your check, your monthly benefits check for the month of January, would have already landed in your bank account. By that account, you can't receive the benefit of this program in the month of January. You would likely get the January payment also on the February. So February, you get a double payment. What is the item? $200 a month, every month from January to December 31st of next year. So January, you may not get a payment of it, but February, you may get $400 because the January may get delayed because they haven't finalized the bill yet. Then a new benchmark. A new benchmark would raise your benefits about 20% a lifetime. So if you're making about $1,000 a month, you would get $1,200. Then a new benchmark. The new benchmark would be used to reassess your benefits annually. The current benchmark is cola. It doesn't move. And as your eggs and milk goes up, cola stays flat. So this benchmark would tie your benefits to something that this benchmark would move up more in accordance with higher food, milk, eggs, gas, things like that. And so as things go up, you would get paid more annually. So would this be part of the third stimulus package or part of a standalone bill? Hard to say. I've said both things. Sometimes it looks like it's a standalone bill. Sometimes it looks like it's part of third stimulus, but it would be at the same time. Okay, what else? Hazard pay, yes. Viewers have said, when can I apply for hazard pay? You can't apply for hazard pay. There's no bill for it yet. It's not even written yet. There's no application for it. Well, will I be able to apply for hazard pay? That's the big question. Nancy Pelosi's hazard pay under the HEROES Act had the employer apply for you, not you. Not good. Now, Mitt Romney, his hazard pay bill, which he introduced to the Senate as a Republican over the summer, had you apply for it. How much? $10,000 if you worked from January all the way up to the end of the pandemic, $13 an hour, up to $10,000. If you're over $10,000, the most you would get is $10,000. And then if you made over $100,000 2019 earnings, you would be reduced to $5,000. Do I think you're going to get it if the Senate remains GOP? I'll answer all your questions about the Senate GOP at the 10-minute mark. I'll go back over these things and say what I think is going to happen if the Senate stays GOP. All right, next, multiple stimulus checks. Someone asked me on holidays at LALATE, do you think we're going to get multiple stimulus checks? Yes. What is the amount going to be? Biden won't tell you. Yesterday, Biden issued a statement. He said the president, Trump, should sign the $600 stimulus check bill because this is a down payment for what I'm giving you in January. Okay, Joe, what are you giving us in January? I'm not telling you. What do you mean you're not telling me? Well, earlier this week, he was asked, are you giving us a stimulus check as well, Mr. President-elect? Yeah, I will. There'll be a stimulus check in January. How much? I'm not telling you. What do you mean? I'm not telling you. Since Biden started his campaign for president, he has never given you a dollar amount for the stimulus check. He's giving you other dollar amounts like the SSI and SSDI, but the stimulus check he won't tell you. And when asked, he still says, I won't tell you. Ironically, Senator Harris, when she was picked as the VP nominee by Biden, from that moment forward, she has never mentioned her own bill, the $2,000 a month for 6 months until the pandemic ends. Ironic? I think not. So what does that mean? It means I don't like it. It means I'd rather have people tell me numbers rather than have me guess what it's a down payment for. My most unfavorite expression ever. What else is in third stimulus check and third stimulus package? Well, EIDL grant, the remainder of your $10,000 EIDL grant. The moment that Javier Carranza goes out with her final scarf and twirls in the wind with her final scarf, you have a new SBA administrator appointed under Biden. And at that point, everything will just change by the second. The remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant. The EIDL grant you never got. The EIDL grant you never could apply for, but you could get a loan. And then new applicants for EIDL. Everything and that and more. All exciting news. What else? Well, then there is another round of PPP. There is the Lifeline grant, $50,000. There is the CDC grant for essential workers, and there's so much more. But ultimately, viewers are going to ask me, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think these things will get reduced if the GOP stays as Republican? Excuse me, the Senate stays as Republican. The GOP is Republican. My answer is yes, these things will get butchered to death and reduced dramatically, and some things will be thrown out the window. What do I think will be thrown out the window? Multiple stimulus checks. I don't think you'll see multiple stimulus checks if the Senate remains GOP-led. I think you'll see one stimulus check, and that will be the last one. If the Democrats take the Senate, then you'll see stimulus checks and stimulus checks and stimulus checks. Next, hazard pay. It'll get butchered. It'll get chopped apart. Instead of $10,000, it'll be like $3,000 or $4,000. SSI and SSDI, I think that will stay exactly as it is, despite whatever happens in the Senate, because Republicans support a lot of Social Security reform. They've been doing bills about Social Security reform for ages. It is a nonpartisan issue. What else? Well, the EIDL grant, it's Republican-ish, actually. Republicans like Marco Rubio and people like that really want the remainder of the EIDL grant. The bipartisan letter, which I detail on this channel in about May, when the channel was young, was written by Republicans and Democrats urging the remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant to be paid. But other things like the Lifeline grant, I'm laughing because it's $50,000 grant. Is Mitch going to give you a $50,000 per household? No, it's not going to happen. Here's an example of how Mitch just sort of sees everything, and this is how I see it as well. You could be an Uber or Lyft driver and have been laid off or your hours reduced, so you're on PUA, so you're getting PUA every week. Then Biden wants to give you FPUC retroactive. That was the thing I forgot. He's going to give you FPUC retroactive back to July, $600 a week, and bring it all the way to the present. How many weeks that is? That's 30 weeks. So how much is 30 weeks at $600? $18,000. Okay, so you're going to get $18,000 from FPUC retro from Biden. Then you're going to go get $10,000 of hazard pay because you're essential worker. Okay, now we're at $28,000. You see where this is going? Yeah. Then you're going to get that CDC grant because that's essential workers as well. So let's throw like another 10 on it. Okay, we're at $38,000. Can we keep on going? Yeah, let's keep on going. Let's keep on crushing. The remainder of $10,000 EIDL grant. Yes, get that. You see how things just sort of keep on going? EIDL grant, hazard pay, retroactive FPUC. Suddenly you can see someone getting $45,000, $55,000 as a single person under Biden's 4 or 5 different plans. Duplicative? Absolutely. Gonna pass a GOP Senate? Absolutely never. And so I don't see any GOP Senate ever giving you $50,000 a person because you qualify for all 4 of Biden's stimulus packages. It's very easy to see a person who qualifies for EIDL grant, also qualify for FPUC, also qualify for PPP, also qualify for hazard pay, and also qualify for the CDC grant. Should you get all that money? Well, kids, if it's available, go get it. But I just don't see it happening in the GOP Senate. So when will we find out this GOP Senate? On January 5th, 2 Senate seats in Georgia will determine the fate of whether you're getting $50,000 or not, essentially. Those 2 Senate seats have to be won by both Democratic candidates to have the Senate fall to the Democrats. And with that, you're up to date on your third stimulus check and third stimulus package. Next week, you'll see a little bit more, and you expect to hear more comments as well from Biden about what he wants in the third stimulus. But if you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. Coming up next is Bean and Mitch, my live recording on Afternoons LALATE. And then I'm back with Evening's Check and then Purple Power Live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay in my life is more.